Today we're taking this stack of cherry boards and turning them into these two ends for the Bluestone Bench project. In this video, we're making the two stacked laminated curved ends for the Bluestone Bench project. But the first thing we need to do is mill some wood. So we are looking at the full-size drawing of the Bluestone Bench. That end form is going to be made up of a bunch of pieces of cherry that are 1 3/4 inches thick, which is what this distance is here. What these dimensions represent are the distance that we need to make the top and the bottom of those pieces that are going to be glued together to create the stack laminated form that we will then carve. For this centerpiece, we need 1.5 inches at the top, and then 19 inches away, we need it 2.5 inches. The next piece out is going to be a little bit thicker, 1 9/16 and 2 9/16. Further out, it's a little thicker yet, 1 5/8, 2 5/8, and then 1 11/16, 2 11/16, and we keep going with that all the way out to the end. The reason that each one of those is a little bit thicker is because in order to cut this curve out, we're gonna have to, starting with the second piece out, we're gonna have to actually grind away a little bit of the material in order to create this curve. And the further out you get on the curve, the more you have to grind away, and therefore the larger piece you need to begin with in order to keep 1.5 inches top and a 2.5 inch bottom. So we're gonna lay out this first piece. It is going to be 1.5 inches at the top and 2.5 inches at the bottom. And those two dimensions need to be 19 inches apart. Now if I draw a diagonal between these 2 points, that is the angle of the cut that I'm going to need to make, so that this piece here represents that center piece. All right, so I'm up to number 4 in terms of the pieces that we are gluing together for the ends. That's the one that has the joint in it. And so what I want to do is I want to cut this joint out at this point, and then I'll knock this piece out, and then this is where the stretcher is going to go through. So those are the two ends. I've cut them off to length. I won't cut the angles that are going to be cut here until after the initial shaping is done. If it's not obvious yet, you can see here how everything that we've done with the drawing and with cutting these tapered pieces of cherry out and then gluing together, stepping back. I hope it's obvious now. This is the top shape that we're looking for. And so each one of these intersections of the wood and the next wood, it creates a point of reference for me when I'm shaping to take things down to that point, and should give me a nice even curve. So I placed one of the ends in my end vise, and I'm getting ready to use the Arbortech power carving unit with the TurboPlane attachment on it. We are ready to go. Now we're going to switch out to the 60 grit sandpaper and do the final shaping on all of these pieces.
All right, so that's it. That is the rough carving that needs to happen on this. The Arbortech worked great at the heavy carving. It got me really close with the sander, but I was not able to get the level of smoothness and consistency over that I really wanted before the chip carving. So that's why I ended up using the hand plane on the outside and the Spokeshave on the inside, but I am very happy with that. It does not have to be perfect because we're gonna chip carve into it and texture the whole surface, but it needs to be close enough so that when you run your hand over that chip carving, you're not feeling a bunch of undulations. There's that. Good in the neighborhood. All right, so the next thing we need to do is we need to lay out the angle here. And we're gonna use this joint as a reference point. And so up here,
it'll be right where the joint is. Down here, we're gonna come over an inch because it's gonna taper out an inch. So that is the angle that's gonna happen on the end of that.
So this is where we're at on the Bluestone Bench project at this point. We have our 2 stretchers made. These 2 stretchers are ready to have their final shape done on them. We have our 2 ends of the bench made. These have been shaped to the point where we are ready to texture them with chip carving. We've knocked out our 2 holes on each one of these ends, which is where the stretchers will penetrate that. In the next installment, we will be texturing the 2 ends with chip carving. We will be final shaping the 2 stretchers so that they fit through the ends, and they also have the scallops that they have on them, which will then define where the 3 bluestone seats sit. So make sure you come back and join me for that. If you want to know when that happens, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification button. Again, this is Todd Wolfe with Made by Wolfe, encouraging you to get out there in your space and make something today.